Hey guys, this is Christy. I just wanted to hop in today and make you a quick video. I'm hearing a lot of people talking about, their cravings and their hunger and, not being able to withstand them, not being able to deal with them, giving in to them, simply because they deal with them constantly. They're dealing with their hunger all the time. They're dealing with their stress all the time. They're dealing with their cravings all the time. And so I wanted to hop in and, excuse me, I wanted to share with you something, kind of a tool that I use pretty often to help myself as well as my clients gain perspective on what they're struggling with. And it's actually really simple. The truth of the matter is that 9 times out of 10, you're not dealing with something constantly. You're only dealing with it very occasionally. The problem is that it's actually popping into your mind. And every time you think about it, you go, I still have that problem. It's kind of like a headache where, when you've got a headache and it's constant, you think, I've got a headache, I've got a headache, I've got a headache, I've got a headache. But once you take the aspirin and it goes away, most of the time you don't even realize that it went away. You kind of go, my headache's gone. Great, super. So today what I want to share with you is a tip, a tool, a trick that I use to not only gather data about how often something is happening for me, but to also gain perspective on the fact that it's not happening for me as often as I think that it is. And one of the ways that I do that is through tracking, right? You guys know I'm a big fan of tracking. Uh, and so this is one of the ways that I do it. So let's say you're wanting to track your hunger, right? You think that you're hungry all the time. And you're eating excessively, right? This is, the story that you're telling yourself, your doctor, your therapist, your coach, whoever. I'm struggling to eat, properly. I'm struggling to adopt this way of eating or eliminating my dairy or eliminating sugar, diet colas, alcohol, whatever it is, because I am struggling with this thing, right? I get hunger extremely often. I get cravings extremely often. They're all the time, they're constant. So here's one of the ways that you can do that. You can help mitigate this problem, gain perspective on it. Um, so, and you can do this any which way you want. I'm going to just start like right now, saying that I'm really struggling with cravings, and I think that I get my cravings all the time. So it's a little after 11 o'clock right now. So I'm going to start with 11 o'clock. I'm going to write 11 down. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oops, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I go to bed at 10 o'clock. So after that, I don't even care. Now, you can either track it, right, in these hourly increments, or you can break it down. And this is, what I have often done. And each one of these little increments, these little bubbles, is a 15-minute increment. So this would be 11:15. This would be, it's from 11 to 11:15, from 11:15 to 11:30, from 11:30 to 11:45, from 11:45 to 12. But however makes sense to you. So if it only makes sense to you to have 3 increments, you can do that. Right? You can track in 20s, you can track in 30s, you can track in 5s, whatever makes sense to you. So the idea here is that, let's say at 11 o'clock, right, this is when I'm going to start tracking, I get a craving. And I often start this practice with my first craving or my first hunger pain or my first thought of anxiety or my first whatever it is that I'm trying to track. And so let's say I get that and I mark it down. Well, it's 11:15. And so then I'll go do something else, right? I'll do my work, right? I'll do a workout. I may read a book. I may, Facebook, or Pinterest or something like that, right? I'm going to get on with my life, doing whatever it is that I need to do. And then as time goes on, I may get a hunger pain again. I may get a craving again. I may think, damn, I'm really stressed. What time is it? Well, it's actually 12:30. Well, isn't that interesting? So I made it 11:30 or 11:15, 11:45, right? I made it however many bubbles, right? However many increments you're tracking without having hunger, without having a craving, without having stress. And so then I go about my day some more, right? I may eat my lunch. I may, you know, I don't know, do some more work, right? Do whatever it is. And the hours and minutes tick away. And then, I think, hmm, I'm hungry again, or I'm having a craving, whatever it is, or I'm experiencing stress. So then I check my time. Oh, look at that. It's 2 o'clock. So I made it another hour and a half without having thought about it. Right? And so this shows you, right, every time you check in with yourself, you see, oh, look, I've made it this many time intervals, time increments without having this problem, right? And so you can document, right? I had a problem at 11 o'clock. I had a problem at 1:30. I had a problem at 3:30. And if you're tracking over days, this may show you, what, you have a tendency to have a problem around 3 o'clock, right? And that may be a weak spot for you that needs additional looking at, additional tending to. So what this can do, right, is it can do a couple of different things. It can give you data that you can then share with your doctor, right? Say you really are having, hunger pains every 15 minutes, right? That's something that you might want to work with your doctor on. Um, Maybe you are experiencing stress, that often, and it's something that may need supplementation or medication or some sort of other therapeutic action. But one of the most beneficial things that this can do for you is to show you that it's not happening quite as often as it feels like it's happening. And that can help you gain perspective. Um, when you're thinking about your hunger, when you're thinking about your cravings or, emotional eating, you may feel like you can't deal, right? You can't deal with the issues. You're going to give in. You're going to give in. Well, another way that you can use this tool is to say, let's say your emotional eating, your binge or your overeat starts at 4 o'clock. And you're like, I can't make it, I can't make it, I can't make it. Okay, number one, right? Stop saying those things to yourself. But um, what you can also do is go hold off for 15 minutes, right? Or hold off for 20 minutes, or hold off for 5 minutes, whatever your increments are. And then every time you're successful, right? You didn't binge eat for 15 minutes. You fill in that dot, right? It doesn't have to be a dot. It can be a square. It can be a star, whatever you want. Make it fun for you, right? And so maybe you hold off another 15 minutes and another 15 minutes. And you may, in fact, at some point give in to your emotional eating. You may give in to those cravings. You may give in to that hunger. And that's okay. It is absolutely okay. But what's important here is that you created this chain, right? This is what's often called a don't break the chain habit, habit builder. But you've also created successes, right? These may be micro successes, but they are still successes. And we count those, right? All successes are successes, right? And they build your confidence. They build your motivation. They help you feel more secure, more confident in your ability to create and manifest the life that you want, whatever it is, right? So I hope that's been clear. Um, so there, I just want to also mention there are apps that you can, do this kind of don't break the chain habit tracking. I don't know if they all, are able to break down into small increments. I have a tendency to use pen and paper anyway because it's part of my tactile thing, I guess. But obviously, a big sheet of paper like this is big. So I've also tracked it before on, little post-it notes, right? You can, if you've got a small section of paper, you can, uh, write it down. Let's say you struggle with cravings between 1 and 5, right? Which would be, but after you've eaten lunch, but before you eat dinner, right? You can just track it like this, right? You can put it on your to-do list if you keep a pad of paper with a to-do list on it. Um, you don't have to create this every day. You can, track for any number of hours. You can track for a whole day. When I was doing therapeutic fasting to try and correct some blood issues, blood values, I honestly, I had a whole sheet of paper that had 24 markings on it. And every hour that I was able to make it through, right, because I was fasting, I gave myself a sticker. And I know that sounds really silly, but it appeals to your, uh, it appealed to my inner child, right? So, my inner child really liked getting those stickers, seeing those smiley faces, and especially if you're doing a 24-hour thing, right? Um, this is not 24, but when you think about it, let's say you start your day at midnight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Um, when you think about this, right, you're asleep. You're asleep for these hours. Technically, you've been successful already, right? You've been successfully without sugar for 6 hours. You've been successfully, and in fact, it may actually be before that, depending on what time you went to bed, right? So, but you've got all of these successes already built into your day from the moment you wake up, right? You've been without sugar. You've been without caffeine. You've been without alcohol. You've been without stress. So you've got these micro successes already built into your day. And when you do this, right, when you go ahead and give yourself credit, right, for these hours, then you set yourself up. You go, you know what? I'm going to see if I can go one more hour. I'm going to see if I can go one more hour. One more hour. And yeah, sure, you may give in. You may decide at 10 o'clock, I can't deal without any more caffeine. I need to have my sugar, my donut, my whatever, right? But in the meantime, you've created these successes, and these successes, as I've already said, are going to lead to more motivation, more confidence, and ultimately more success. So I hope that's been helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comments below. Shoot me an email. Hit me up on Facebook. Um, and I hope this has been helpful. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.